Top five, top five, top five.
Topical back with another video. I'm Strange Wang. He is Nate. Today we're doing top 5 Michael Keaton movies because he is the bad guy. He is the evil villain.
Evil!
In the new film, The Protege. And I don't know any proteges, but they're humans and humans have social media. And we have social media, which he's going to tell you about down here. He's going to tell you about that right now, along with how our top 5 list works.
If you scroll down to the description box below and pop that open, you'll find links to our social media accounts. You'll also find a link to our coffee account and our Patreon account if you would like to be supportive in a financial matter so that we can continue to grow and continue to do something that we have put a lot of hard work and effort into to provide you this content. If you don't know how we do our top 5s, he's going to start with his 5 and 4. I'll give my 5 and 4, 3, 2, 3, 2. Then we trade off number 1s. We also have something called the Zemeckis rule, which just means if we both have the same movie on our list, but one person has it 2 spots or higher, we won't talk about it till we get to it in there.
My number 5 is going to be The Founder.
Okay. I haven't seen it, and I've been wanting to, but I haven't gotten to it yet.
So, Michael Keaton takes this, like, McDonald's story and just, like, the mediocre people behind the scenes and puts it on his back like fucking, like, a bat, like he's Dora the Explorer, and he just puts on the fucking backpack and carries this film to a new level of, I wouldn't say heights, but like he definitely bumps it up like a whole Rotten Tomatoes score.
Nice.
Like he bumps it up like at least 10 points because that's just how good his performance is, and you can put him in any type of role, a serious role, comedy, doesn't matter, and he can deliver to the point where he can carry a movie by himself. And I think how impressive that is that he made a story I was interested in, which is like really like piss poor mediocre filmmaking, and just take it and be like, you should be up here because it's a great story. And how good Michael Keaton is, I had to put it on the list for that reason. My number 4 is Mr. Mom. It's one of those fun 80s comedies everyone loves. Gender equality, you know, like, I mean, not equality, the roles, gender roles, you know, it's just like, damn, what you do is very hard. And it's just fun. There's nothing really to take out of it. He just has good comedic timing, and it's realistic. He's like, he takes every like great sitcom actor from something like this, like your Married with Kids sitcom, and was like, I can do what you do, but better and funnier. And he does, which is why it's my number 4. He's not quite as over the top as like a Bill Murray, but still in that same realm. And all these little 80s comedies, which are all great. You got a bunch of great ones like Gun Ho, Night Shift. I haven't seen Night Shift. I heard it's fantastic. It's on Amazon Prime. I'm about to watch it.
Nice.
Soon.
So my number 5 is going to be the Vulture in Spider-Man. So in the world of MCU, the majority of those movies...
How many times can Michael Keaton be dressed as a flying animal in this list?
That's 1 so far. So in most of the MCU movies, stakes are high, right? We're talking world-ending, like country-destroying, like galaxy-level impact. Not this one, because it's Spider-Man, and like he's getting his legs underneath him. Tony has confined him to being the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So much smaller stakes, and Keaton's performance as this character gets you so invested still. Like even, and I mean, Tom Holland has a lot to do with that too. He's great, but like a super sympathetic villain, somebody who's just like a victim, essentially, of like the world around him, of things that he can't control, who chooses to resort to crime by handling that, which is actually shedding a light on a much deeper social issue, which is really interesting. But like the working man he plays in this movie nails it. The dad he plays in this movie nails it.
Just like your finger hitting the microphone.
Yeah, the villain he plays in this movie fucking nails it. Michael Keaton is so good. So that's my number 5. And my number 4 is going to be the Best Picture winning Spotlight.
I still haven't seen that movie.
Yeah.
See, that movie, and like, what's the other one that came out that year? Spotlight and, What's the other? There's like another one, like a big ensemble cast. Is that about the raping people?
The Catholic
priest?
Church. Yeah.
All right, what's the other one where it's like the one where they're talking about like housing crisis?
Okay, I thought that's what you meant. That's the big
The Big Short.
The Big Short.
I got those in my back pocket. It's like I know they're good movies.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch them one day, but it's just like
Yeah.
it's never been a day.
So he plays like the lead guy of this special sect of the Boston Globe that just does like hardcore investigative journalism, and they uncover all these truths about how the Catholic Church system has been making victims out of young men for a really fucking long time, and the lengths they went to cover that up, to preserve their own self-image, which is fucked. But Keaton is so this is like that calm, cool, and collected Keaton. I don't know if this is gonna be on your list or not because his role was so small, but don't say anything until we get to it if it is. But like his role in Trial of Chicago 7, where he's just like, it's impactful, like he has shit to say that's always really important, but like he's never up here, right? He's just like he's never overexcited, despite how like big of a deal the stuff that his character is dealing with is, and that's basically how he is the whole time in this movie. And so like a great fucking leader, keeps his team together even when like things kind of hit the fan, and it's like it's a super slow burn of a movie. It's not for everyone. I've tried to rewatch it twice, and it's really hard to rewatch. Because it is actually really hard to hear about like the shit that was going on, but also because like it is a really slow burn of a movie. But he nails it, and I love him very much in that role. Also, Liev Schreiber's in that.
That's your 4?
Yes.
Okay, my number 3 is The Trial of Chicago 7. So
I figured it.
So Michael Keaton is so important to this movie because, like, personally, I grew up in the 90s, early 2000s. So the only Batman we had really was like, because VHSs were like mad expensive back then.
You had Michael Keaton and George Clooney.
Yeah.
And Kevin Conroy.
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer. Yeah.
But like VHSs were like $60 back then. So like, you gotta wait. So the old ones, they weren't? I thought they were. I don't know. Fuck do I know?
Nothing.
But the VHS I had was Batman 89, Batman Returns. So to me, Michael Keaton, because he does have the face paint on in Beetlejuice, and I was a little kid, fuck do I know?
Absolutely nothing.
So to me, Michael Keaton was only Batman, and he was justice. To me, he represents justice, still to this day. So when I'm watching Trial of Chicago 7, and I see this fucking judge, and I hate this judge. He's a fucking crook. I hate him so much. I would go become a fucking lawyer, one of those like $35 an hour lawyers who like only like writes fucking wills and shit. I would take his will and like not like put what he says. I would write in his will he wants to be cremated, and instead of poured out over the ocean or some shit, like something nice, he wants to be poured into like 25 different colostomy bags, because that's how much of a fucking garbage human being this cocksucker is.
Gross.
So I hate this cocksucker so fucking much. And out of nowhere, Mike, because like I'm rooting for the 7, and the symbol of justice, the idea, the man that represents justice, comes out of nowhere and gives them their first win. You're fucking going crazy. You're like, yes, fucking like, ugh. Like, I can't tell you how excited I was when he came on the screen, because this is the first time we like got a win.
Yeah.
It's like this cocksucker with his fucking little hammer. He's baffled. He's like, oh shit, I respect this man, and he's with them. I don't know what to do. This is the first time you feel like you win, and it shows how respected, how good of an actor Michael Keaton is to pull that off. Not every actor would have pulled that off.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford, he would have pulled that off.
Yeah.
You get fucking Jabroni Steve, who was in like 3 fucking TV movies. He can't pull that off. Like Don Johnson, he wouldn't be able to pull that off. There's a selective few actors that you could have put in that role and would have made an impact like that. And to me, to affect me that much in the movie, to like reinvest my hope, because I felt like I was like zero. I was like, oh, we're not gonna win. Fuck this guy. He just rejuvenizes.
Rejuvenates.
Yeah, rejuvenates. Your love and passion for these characters, and it puts you back in the fight. And it's so powerful, but it's so short. Such a good fucking movie, though. Goddamn. Number 2, the movie that represents justice, Batman '89.
That's my number 3.
I just went with '89 because the Penguin scared me as a kid. That motherfucker like biting noses off. He's eating raw fish, like not even sushi. He's just like
he's terrifying.
Scales and everything.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, Mom, why'd you make me watch? Like, why'd you let me watch this? Goddamn, what's wrong with you? But yeah, so this one is great because Nicholson, he plays like comedic Joker and scary. Like he can tap into the scariness.
Yeah.
But so I wasn't scared. So I was watching this like repeat. I was watching so much the motherfucking film would come out and you gotta put your thumb in and do like that, put it back in. I went through like 3 or 4 VHS tapes of this.
Jesus Christ.
Because I loved it so much. He was Batman for me until... I mean, when I think of Batman, he's probably still like the one I think of. He's not my favorite anymore. But he... Like this performance...
Yeah.
Was fucking everything when I was a little kid, dog.
Yeah. I don't know if it was like this for you or not, but the first like Batman experience I had was the animated series.
Yeah.
So like I watched a lot of the animated series before I ever saw a live action one, which makes sense because like it is a little more kid friendly. But your mom was letting you watch some wild shit when you were like 3, so
yeah. Watching Scarface.
I didn't know if
shit.
it was the same for you or not. So I watched animated series like probably for like a couple years before I guess my parents felt like I was old enough to understand a live action Batman movie. And I had a ton of action Batman. I really cannot tell you how many Batman action figures I had. I had so many. So to see this character that I absolutely idolized, but have only had in like my imagination through me making him talk, playing with him as a kid in action figure form or in cartoon form, like literally come to life. Like, you know, in the same kind of like body that I have and things like that, was the best. And Keaton just nailed it. Like he just felt so right, to me for that role. And like it's maybe how like retroactively, like I don't necessarily feel these feelings when I'm watching, Batman '89 or Batman Returns now. But like, I can't undersell how impactful that actually was. Yeah, and like you keep bringing like Justice up. I couldn't agree more. Like now he plays the bad guy in some movies, obviously, and he has some like absolutely god awful fucking movies as well. But like he does, like even in Spotlight, like his character is like he is working incredibly hard to bring justice to these like marginalized victims of the Catholic Church in that movie, and like justice like was instilled in me at a very young age because of the character of Batman, which was brought to life by Michael Keaton for me for the first time. And that is still something that is just like such a super core value to me today. And like, can't undersell how much that means.
Yeah, but back to the performance, like leaning more into that, like dude does it all in this movie. Yeah. He can play Swab. Because Batman's such a complex character, you need all these elements. You need all these tools in your toolbox on some Bob the Builder shit to hang out with Dora the Explorer, as I mentioned earlier. Utility belt. Yeah, that too. So he can play Swab. He can play, what's it called? Brooding. He can play Brooding. You're like, you're on the Brute Squad. You're on the Brute Squad. He can play Brooding. He can be a badass as Batman. Yeah. He can be sad. He can be romantic. He can have that line cross and go nuts. You want to go nuts? Fucking, let's go nuts. I fucking love that. Yeah. Roosevelt's need to make that a t-shirt.
Very Pacino-esque.
Yeah. Fucking great. Speaking of Pacino, and my mom let me watch wherever I want to. I watched Scarface in the 3rd grade, and then I went to school and got attention, and I yelled at my teacher, and I was like, you can't do anything to me that Castro hasn't already done. And she's like, what the fuck? Got kicked out of class for that.
I love that.
But, yeah, like, he fit the complexity of Batman at that time perfectly for an on-screen adaptation, having all these tools in his utility belt, as you said.
Yeah. for sure. That was your number 2.
Number 2.
All right, that was my number 3. And then so my number 2 is Birdman. Yeah. So this is like, all film is art, but this is like high art, right? This is theater come to life on screen. Obviously, they had to make do some tricks, so it's not truly. This is the first like full like one shot movie that I've seen, and it's not like there's a ton of them, but like character complexity. Like Michael Keaton is incredibly good at playing like complex, layered characters, and that definitely describes his character in this one because it's like, oh, I'm washed up actor. What am I going to do as a washed up actor? I'm going to get on stage, and I feel like that's like something that we see a lot in Hollywood. Period, because sometimes having one really good stage role can revitalize your whole career, which is what he wants. So watching this man like hang on to the glory of his past, these visions where he sees himself as Birdman, and like the real life parallel to like Michael Keaton having been Batman and now being an older actor.
That's 3, by the way.
Nice. Like you could tell that even if that wasn't necessarily like his personal story, it was still like a story he could connect to. And so like his relationship with his daughter and like Edward Norton being up in there and like their interactions and stuff, when you ultimately get to the climax of like what he does on the opening night of the show, and then like the way he sells, him and Emma Stone sell that like really cryptic ending, it's amazing. It's such a good movie. And also, they couldn't get a permit to shut down Times Square to film it, so Michael Keaton did actually just walk out of a theater in Times Square in his underpants and then walk around. Those people are not extras, and I love everything about that.
So did they have to get all of them to sign releases?
I don't know how that works.
Well, they didn't talk, so I guess it doesn't matter. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah. Our number 1, Beetlejuice.
Yeah, it is.
Like...
Not high art. But this is performances.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah.
So, as you said, like, Michael Keaton, like, related so much to that character.
Yeah.
I relate so much to this character.
Strange Wang relates so much to that character. Yes.
One and the same. Fake name, no gimmicks. He's so fucking, like, great.
Yeah.
Like, he's so lovable.
He's barely in the fucking movie.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, he's a shyster. I love that right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
The little thing he does when he's, like, humping and, like, jumping his way into the whorehouse.
Yeah.
I do that all the time.
Feeling a little horny.
Yeah. Just, like, the references and everything, just... the different layers of comedy he hits.
Yeah.
With, like,
yeah.
being a bad person, but likable at the same time,
mm-hmm.
is a rare feat not everyone can hit.
Yeah.
Even with the script. Like, I think you could have had 30 actors, and none of them would have been better than Michael Keaton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And, I mean, you mentioned, like, layers of comedy. Like, it's true. Like, he does physical gags. He does one-liners. He sets up punchlines. There's like prop comedy. Like he really does hit like so many different layers of comedy that some comedians spend their entire career focusing on one and still miss the beat, right?
Juice.
But like what made this my number 1 is that all of these other movies on my list are like I have like Batman on there and then Spider-Man, so like maybe the word serious doesn't necessarily apply to those, but he's playing a serious character even if the whole movie isn't super serious. So and I understand that when he made Beetlejuice, he is coming off of like those 80s comedies and things like that, but that wasn't I didn't know that Michael Keaton. So for me to have seen all these other serious things, not all of them because Beetlejuice came out before a lot of these movies, but like for that to be that guy. Actually, you know what it really was? I saw Beetlejuice when I was like really young and like absolutely loved it.
Me
but
too.
Not at the age where, like you mentioned this earlier,
not appropriate.
Not at the age where I was paying attention to who like specific actors were, right? So like having seen some of these other movies later, and then having that day in my like late teens or early 20s where I'm reading something and I'm like, Michael Keaton was Beetlejuice? What? That's amazing. So it just shows his range. And for him to go out there and like be that physical when he needed to be and like put on that gruff voice and just crush it. And to have such little screen time and be the most impactful character in the whole movie, like, it's good shit, man.
Yeah. I mean, going back to like how likable he is, we both saw it when we was really young. Again, my mom, Mama Wang, she would get pissed off when this was on the TV. You know why?
Because there's a whorehouse?
No. Because it was never off the TV.
Oh.
Like, I couldn't tell you how many times I've watched this on ABC Family. So it was like edited, but like,
Yeah.
like VHS, AMC Family, ABC Family, whatever the fuck it was called. Like, this was on the TV all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And all I would hear is, I'm fucking sick of that shit. Like, he's so lovable as a character, though,
Yeah.
that you watch that and you probably didn't understand when he was like, oh, that's my favorite comedy. I was crying, laughing, whatever the fuck he says.
Mm-hmm.
We're little kids. We don't get that.
Yeah.
We don't understand why we like him, but we love this character.
Mm-hmm.
They made a cartoon.
And it was a good cartoon. From what
Exactly.
I liked it. As
You
a
know
kid.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, lovable.
Mm-hmm.
You can't teach that. That's a level of charisma a lot of people can't get to. And that level of charisma is the reason why I'm excited for the Protege, which is the reason why we're doing this top 5. He looks great in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Movie, not so much. He looks great, though. Tell us down below in the comment section, what is your top 5? Are you excited to see the Protege? I don't know. Which is why you gotta tell us. That's what the comment section is there for. I mean, shit, you ain't stupid. But scroll back up, hit the like button, share the video, and subscribe.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.